Of all the problems that Black people have, if they had just a little bit of money, it would begin to mitigate some of the issues they have. It was a no-brainer to try to address the issue of exclusion at the convention center. The project was pretty close to the traditional African-American community. We were not at the lowest level included in the process to even build that facility. We, as a community, could be a thriving part of the economic environment in our community. And so that was the avenue I took.
I think that this project was a breakthrough because it is the first public improvement project in Oregon with a minority prime contractor.
Well, we're part of Metro, the regional government, and Metro has a core value of supporting our community and doing our work in a way that is both diverse, equitable, and inclusive of all individuals and parties within our community.
We knew that we wanted to do this differently in order to reflect the contracting results to the communities that Metro serves. NAMC as a organization supporting minority contract was one of the key elements in that process. So we had a lot of conversations with the organization about best practices to be inclusive. And we learned a lot from NAMC about the process and about the relationship building, about barriers in the procurement process.
There's a litany of challenges that you face as being a Black-owned construction company. Typically, the companies that you're competing against on projects as significant and large as this project, they've been around for 50, 60, 100 years. The reality is we're a Black-owned company, and we just could not have been in business in Portland, Oregon 50 years ago. So to be able to catch up to that, you have to actually create an RFP process that doesn't make you go back 50 years, showing what projects that you have done that relate to a project like this within the history of your company, and how can you use that experience to be successful on this project.
What we've tried to encourage, not just with Metro, but all of our partners, is to be more thoughtful. It's really making sure that you don't set up any biases in the way that procurement language reads.
So there's a lot more opportunity to be able to utilize people based off of what they bring to the table versus their name. What you do is you broaden that up to be able to provide more real economic opportunities and the real ability for prosperity for people who may or may not have gotten that opportunity in the larger companies.
It took a lot of collaboration with the project owner. It took a lot of collaboration with the organizations that we work with, small business organizations. And we came to the conclusion finally that it takes a relationship building with stakeholders, relationship building with the businesses that we wanted to reach out with. NAMC really provides that connection of government with businesses, and they literally bring us together. I would say without NAMC, this would have been nearly impossible.
If you don't actually break those barriers down, you never will see a Colas Construction or a Raimore Construction or a Affordable Electric.
The real opportunity here was Metro responding to a day and time when, the Oregon Convention Center displaced a large African American community, and that was up front and center in their narrative within their procurement. And so that let people know with some certainty that an owner, a major government agency, was very serious about getting it right on a project like this.
Not only the prime and large partners gain experience in that, but also the smaller subcontractors and the workers, the workforce, women, people of color who are working on this project. My hope is that they will be able to take that experience and gain confidence and then work on other projects in the future.
And all those workers are working.
It's important to have the Colases, the Raimores, and people of color actually not only contributing to the construction industry, but running it, being owners, being project managers, being people who are influential and changing. So if you can't see it, you can't be it. Our young people have to see that. They can internalize the fact that I might be able to do this. In fact, I can be able to do this. That becomes a very powerful tool within our community to make inclusion work for real.
One of the things that people of color and poor, disadvantaged white kids face as they navigate the educational system and think about their future is one of the challenges is a lack of exposure. And so what we try to do with our young people and even some of our older people is get them out to experience what the possibilities are and to be able to see what it's like to be on the job site and then actually see people that look like them on the job site in jobs that are pretty important.
A lot of people don't know. You know, there's great opportunities within the estimating side, project management side, journey level side, general foreman, superintendents. And at all those various positions, you have really good wages, and people don't know that.
So providing short-term, specific training that's recognized in the industry that will lead to meaningful employment and a livable wage is that lifeline and that hope that our community really, really needs.
I think we often talk about it at NAMC that, you know, it's good that we celebrate a Colas and a Raimore, but we want to see 10, 20 more Colas and more Raimores and some of our Latino, Native, and Asian-owned construction companies who can get to that next level of evolution as a small business in construction. And the real way to do that is to have partnerships.
I think we can take lessons learned from this project, apply it to other government agencies too. Metro and NAMC works with all government agencies in the region, whether it's cities, counties, public school, and have a more regional conversation about it and look at the things that worked really well and that other agencies can adopt.
It's just a good way for us to make our businesses grow a little quicker by partnering up with people who care about the values of equity and inclusion. And we're seeing agencies and our big GCs that are really leading the way in those efforts.